Those continued strikes come as the president's reportedly reaching the end of his rope with Iran's regime and now considering a full-scale military assault. He's also weighing in today on other global players in this conflict, saying he has agreement now from Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping that they will not sell weapons.
Everything is a lie. But that became like a coin term, I guess. But everything is a lie. I mean, every politician I've sat across from, with maybe the exception of Eli, but you talk to somebody and then it's like, you how dare you platform that person? And it's like, actually, I probably just did you a favor because he just spent 4 hours lying to me on my podcast that you're going to be able to use for his next political campaign.
Mic check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex. Who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check. Hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test. Too many questions left unchecked. He told her, right, don't take that ride. I ran it out right, don't sell that lie. Regime change,
Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. It's Friday, which means we're going to bring you this week's headline news stories, which include but are not limited to, drumroll, peas. I think I just said peas. We're going to go with it. Peas, carrots, any other kind of vegetable. Trump considering a full-scale ground assault. Like, can someone explain to me why we're doing this? Like, I just don't know the why. I mean, actually, I do know the why, but their reason for why doesn't seem like a good enough reason for like the whole country to buy into. So we're going to talk about it. Then we have, did you see that Lego video that I just played on the intro? Iran putting out more. I'm telling you, these Lego videos are intense. So essentially that video, and we'll play the whole thing, is saying that the road mic is what killed Charlie and that it exploded. So now here's the problem. All of the people that are like, that's a conspiracy theory, that's so ridiculous, they're all coming out and they're saying, well, look how stupid it is and ridiculous it is if it's Iranian propaganda. I don't know one way or the other whether it was the road mic. I want to know why those pieces were in the car, found in the car that took Charlie to the hospital. I would love to know how that mic exploded. It's just a little odd to me. So super curious about that. And then we have Sean Ryan on Tucker Carlson giving the line that I think is brilliant and so true, that there is no political solution. And, you know, you guys know how we feel about it here on the show. Second Chronicles, the whole 9 yards. But our founding fathers, you might think that the Revolutionary War was quote unquote political. And obviously in many ways that it was. But it was spiritual, man. It was spiritual. And that's what we're dealing with right now. How are we going to change the country? I'm going to tell you something. Little rabbit trail right off the bat, out the gate for Michelle. Guys, pornography and sexual deviancy and perversion. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is the problem. It's the problem. Because if our men can't be men, and if Satan can continue to whisper in their ears, like, you can't lead, you can't do this, look at what you're doing at night, look at the, whatever, and they can keep, and then that's just the guilt cycle for the good guys. Then you have the evil people that are just straight up in it, want to be in it, and just taking the country down a bad path. And you got the kids that are somewhat caught in between, and dads don't know how to be dads. Boys aren't having, growing up and becoming dads and having kids. They're like just ruined. And God is going to redeem it. And Leah and I were talking today, and she's like, Michelle, we have to be able to preach the real gospel, the kind of gospel that says, no matter what sin you have done, You are redeemable. God can redeem you. You are not too far gone. Like, and real radical salvation, the kind that makes you rend your garments, look at your old life and be like, I want to have nothing to do with that because I have been so transformed. We got to preach that gospel because it's the only way that we're going to rescue. Because here's the deal, guys, most of our men have looked at child porn. Full stop. The women don't want to admit it. You guys all out there, you know. Can we put them all in jail? No, you can't. You can't put them all in jail. We've got to have radical salvations. We've got to start preaching the gospel. Some saved by fire, hating the very garments that are stained with sin. We've got to give people the truth and stop pulling punches. And I'm going to tell you something. The mamsy-pamsy, seeker-friendly, come into our smoke-filled worship session where they're pretending that gold dust is falling from the ceiling and we're serving coffees and lattes and ice cream for the kids and all the things that make you feel ooey gooey and you just like about church, and you got the Jesus is my boyfriend music and it's just so seeker-friendly. These guys that are addicted to porn, they need the gospel that says, we don't want to look like the world. We don't want to act like the world. I want something that's different. I want something that's set apart. I want to feel clean. I want to feel holy. I want to feel set apart. And that's what's happening in the UK. We talk about it on Sundays all of the time. These guys are finding themselves wanting to go to like the more religious, I put that in air quotes there. What's the word that I'm looking for, guys? Help me out in the chat. Traditional, Orthodox type Christianities, like the not really the Church of England, but somewhat, and the Catholic Church, they're like turning like, Orthodox because they want to feel that something that makes them feel holy. So we have to be able to preach that gospel. The one that doesn't pull punches, the one that doesn't say, oh, God just loves you as you are and accepts you as you are. Yes, he does. And yes, he does. But they need to hear this sin that you're stuck in. You can be free from it and you will be free from it and you should be free from it. And you don't want to stay in it. Right. So that's an aside. Now we're going to do a complete shift of gears in 1 second. But while I got the preach on, we're going to do something, and I need you guys to join me, and I need you to add this to your prayer list. You guys hear us pray for Liz's dad, Rick, all the time on the show. But she sent me a message this afternoon and she said that, please pray for my dad. He's kind of taking a turn for the worse. And he's got an appointment on Monday, and just kind of pray, essentially. I'm filling in the gaps, but I was assuming, pray through the weekend. Then she sends me a message not that long after and says, really, really pray. My mom's headed to the emergency room with my dad. He's really taken a turn for the worse. So we're going to pray for Rick right now. Father God, we just enter into your gates with thanksgiving. We enter into your courts with praise. I thank you that you are wrapping this family with your abundant love, that you are wrapping Rick with your abundant love, that you are wrapping Rick in your healing power, that your blood runs through his veins. We ask you, Father God, there are times where we just come before you and we just have to ask for a miracle. We are asking for a miracle. And we've got the entire Resistance Chicks family that's tuning in live right now. And we are all joining together in one accord, and we are asking for a miracle for Liz, for her mom, and for her dad, for this family to see a complete miraculous turnaround. We know that it is nothing too big for you to save by many or by few, or to do something big or to do something small, Father God. It doesn't matter to you. To you, it is all the same because you are mighty to save. So I thank you, Lord God, that in this hospital right now, that angels are there. They are there with Rick. They are there with Liz's mom right now. And I just thank you that we are going to hear a miraculous story come out of this situation. I just pray that you are soothing Rick, that you are giving him peace, that you are causing his body to just calm down and to not have reactions, Father God. I just thank you that he's going to be able to rest in the miraculous work that you are doing in his body. We speak peace to Rick's body right now in the name of Jesus. We speak healing to his body. We speak peace to his mind, Father God. And I just thank you that everything that that Liz and her family have been praying for is going to come to pass as a result of having come through this, that this will have been done for the glory of God, for salvation, for the advancements of the kingdom, for their family to have miracles, not just in the healing of her dad, but in every single area. And I just pray that you're giving Liz the ability to hold up on her shoulders, which she shouldn't have to do. It's a manly thing to hold up on her shoulders this farm and their family business, Lord God. And I just pray, Father God, that you're giving her grace in the doing of that and peace tonight, Lord. I just thank you for peace. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'm praying with you too. Did you feed Rooster?
I did not. Was I supposed to?
Yes, you were.
Well, I fed him
his
late.
medicine.
I'll get him in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So, speaking of health stuff, I do want to give you guys a tip. I was going to make this silly, but it's actually kind of serious anyway. So we'll just stay in that vein. Everybody on our show should know what your lymphatic system is. Okay. You don't know who you are. Thank you, Spam. Your lymphatic system processes, liquids and toxins, and it pulls toxins in, and then it's supposed to flush them through your body. But if you get too many toxins, then that system can get clogged. It's a plumbing system throughout your entire system. Okay. And you've got some major spots like right around your armpit, like right here, and in here, and you got them in here all through your face. You got them in your like groin a lot of the junctures, okay, is your lymphatic system. So we have a salt water. I was going to do its own video on this, but I'm going to do it real quick. We have a saltwater converter for our 24-foot above ground swimming pool. It's amazing. I highly recommend it for anybody that ever gets a pool. Even if you get a cheap one, they have cheap saltwater converters. And if you get an expensive one, they have expensive saltwater converters. It makes it like we don't ever put chlorine in our pool ever. We put salt in at the beginning of the year. We don't usually have to add salt at all, but we had a lot of rains and we had some over drainage and then some overfilling of rain. And so we had to add almost the full amount of salt back into the pool all over again. And because the saltwater converter had kicked off and there wasn't enough salt. So we kept adding salt and it wasn't enough and it wasn't enough. So we just kept adding it. And I kept waiting for the converter to kick on. And so I got in the pool when there were 8, I think, fresh 40-pound. So is that 30? No, 28. So 280 pounds. Am I doing that math? Help me. Don't make me look stupid.
Just say you had some salt in the pool.
It was 280 pounds of salt in the pool, right? Yes, 8 40-pound bags.
That's 320.
Is it 320?
Yeah.
8 times 3 is 24. 320. Okay.
It was 32.
8 times 3 is 24. Add 8 to that. It's 320.
I thought you said 8 times 4.
8 times 3 is 24. You got to go there because that's the one that always sticks in my head. Then you add 8 to that. That's how I do math. That's called Michelle math. So it is 320. Yes. Don't mess with me.
Keep going.
Okay. So anyways, there's 320 pounds of salt in this pool. And I do my regular 100 laps, which I have known that just doing those laps drains my lymphatic system in and of itself. So I do these laps in this 320 pounds of salt. And then I kind of got some diarrhea, TMI here yesterday, but it wasn't a big deal because I take vitamin C. So I thought maybe it's the vitamin C and then, some extra magnesium or whatever. But then I noticed that I just kept peeing and peeing and peeing. And I'm still peeing a lot, not as much as I did yesterday, but for a solid 24 hours, I feel like I peed 10 gallons. Okay. Now they say, this is a tip for you guys. If you can go to what's called a salt room and do a salt float is essentially what I did. It's not expensive. You get into the salt water and then they say you got to be ready to go to the bathroom because you'll go out both ends. And it really pulls the toxins out of your system.
Yeah.
And so you can do this at home in a bathtub. You just need a lot of salt. And I don't know how that would be on your drainage system.
Epsom salt.
You can.
Epsom salt soaks are really good for you.
I don't know the amount that you need to make it have that giant impact. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because it was, I think you need a lot. Like the salt floats, they say you kind of like float because there's so much salt in there. Right. So pro tip, we have it's called Salt and Light Wellness in Milford, and she has a salt room. I don't know if she does a float, but she has a room that's full of salt, and she does
You breathe
red
it
light
in.
therapy.
It's more for your lungs.
Yeah. Well, so we've been meaning to go down there and check it out. We just haven't done it yet. So I just wanted to give you guys like pro tip. If you feel like you are extra bloated, do a salt soak. Okay. Like if you can go someplace, go someplace. If you can do it yourself, I'm just not sure about all that salt going down your drain. That's why I would just be like worried about doing it in the bathtub, because you need like a lot of salt. So that is my tip, my pro tip for today. For anybody out there that is just like, I just feel bloated and I know that I'm not fat, I'm just squishy. Okay, so I have literally not stopped. I feel like I've just spent my whole time in the bathroom. Just like, I've never peed so much in 24 hours in my entire life. And I'm sweating a lot, which is also the way that your lymphatic system drains. I'm sweating extra, way, way extra. And it's cool out right now in Ohio. Okay, so Nana says, hey, y'all, pray for Oregon on fire and not the good kind. Oh, wow. So you guys are having a forest fire in Oregon? Yeah, we will definitely pray. God, I just pray that you keep everybody safe and you protect people's properties and their animals and their family members and everything. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so
we're going to do a drawing.
We are. That's first number one. I got my pads of paper ready, although I don't have a pen. Do you have a pen? I went and got the paper. I just didn't know I needed to get a pen. So we are going to be doing our drawing tonight. And I hope that you guys are okay with this for July and August, because we keep missing them. So we're going to be drawing 2 winners tonight. Okay. So instead of waiting for the 1st of August, we're going to be doing 2 winners here tonight. So what I need you to do is, the only caveat is, if you have never won one of our whole collections before, we do this once a month as our way of giving back to you guys for supporting us. If you've never won one before, you can sign up. So send me an email to massfaith33@gmail.com. That's massfaith, MASFAITH 33@gmail.com. This is what I need you to put in there. Your name, first and last, which collection you want if you win, the men's armor of God or the women's oil of joy, and your address. I don't care about your address. I delete them afterwards. It's only in case you win, I can send it right out right away. And I don't have to email you back and forth like, oh, can you now send me your address? So I can just send it out. So which collection you want and your address, send that to massfaith33@gmail.com. And we will send that out to the lucky winner, blessed winner. We're going to pull 2 tonight at the end of the show. So massfaith33@gmail.com. Barry says, Michelle, if you take some advice and want a proper salt bath, get Marine Aquarium synthetic sea salt and use the same amount of salt that the sea has. It has all the minerals of the ocean in it. That would be expensive, I feel. Like you can get a 40-pound bag of salt for like $5-6. I'm just saying. And so you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I'm just saying, that I'm trying to be cheap, but I totally agree with you there. Okay. So that's all the announcements that I have to kick off the show. Leah, you may take it away. I'm checking for comments here. I'm sorry about the 8:30 show, but I was pretty on time for 8:30. Like I was only like 4 minutes after 8:30. So that's
no,
like
you're doing
time.
good. I take care of this farm with horses, and they have to be done at a certain time. So Fridays are always, when I have them, it's always a little bit different. So there's a lot going on this week. And right now, the most pressing issue is Trump in his big boisterous way. You know, if I huff and I puff and I blow the house down, is that going to actually blow the house down, or am I just huffing and puffing? So Trump is huffing and puffing, and he is saying that he's going to blow Iran down again, like this time, but this time he means it for real, sort of. Yeah, it's unfortunate that he keeps doing that, but he said that they are preparing troops for a ground invasion. It's something that Israel desperately wants them to do. There are new text messages that Candace Owens has released showing Charlie more than leaving the Israeli cause. And it's pretty telling what Charlie was saying behind closed doors. And I believe I don't know if I can find the clip. I just played it on my phone, but Tucker Carlson fully believes that Charlie was not killed for his transgender views, that Charlie was killed for his views on Israel. I believe that. And Sean Ryan believes that. And pretty much anybody who's watching what's happening around the world can see that right now, Israel is doing what Israel is going to do all around the world. So I'm really, I am really concerned with where we're at right now and why we are there. And when you're looking at the narratives being spun, it's really, really, really hard to take anything that you hear seriously.
Well, because like, okay, so given AI, can you even believe text messages anymore? Right? Because then you have to take the person who received the text message, you have to take their word for it. And we're not having it tried in the court of law. So that makes it difficult as far as, okay, you've got these text messages. If true, then wow, very telling. But are they true? And can you believe everything that you see on the internet? It's like text messages are probably the easiest thing on the internet to fake.
Yeah.
So that's where it just gets a little bit iffy for me.
Well, Michelle, while I am bringing the rest of the show, let's go ahead and talk about the ground invasion that Trump is threatening. If you bring up just the YouTube, then you can bring up my other tabs. So if you go to YouTube and play this one, this massive strike that Trump is threatening to bring down on Iran. So this is also something interesting. Thomas Massey tweeted out today. So Trump is trying to say that he can still use emergency war powers, even though the 90 days are up. I'm going to give you one guess as to what no, I'm not even going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you. So Trump is saying that he has now had 2 wars with Iran, and that the quote unquote ceasefire that didn't last long was a break in between the 2 wars so that he could start his 90 days with emergency war powers all over again. So what they've had to do was they released the number of American troops that have been killed so far in the Iran war, but then they rescinded it and then reposted the number of troops killed as the first Iran war troops and the second Iran war troops.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Reaching the end of his
The audio on this video is terrible. I did the best I could to turn it up for the intro that I used. So just listen as carefully as you can, and I'll make sure that the subtitles are turned on.
Iran's regime, and now considering a full-scale military assault. He's also weighing in today on other global players in this conflict, saying he has agreement now from Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping that they will not sell weapons to Iran.
Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery will join us right here in moments.
But first, to go to Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan. He's in Tel Aviv this afternoon for us. Hi, Steve.
Jillian, ship traffic through the Strait of Hormuz really almost at a complete standstill. Just 3 ships a day for the past 3 days passing through that strait. And this happens as U.S. forces continue to grind away night after night, attacking Iranian military positions inside of Iran. Last night, the 13th night in a row, the attacks began about 2 a.m. They lasted for more than 2 hours' time. President Trump spoke to Axios, warned about a potential massive invasion of Iran, but he did say he hadn't reached that decision yet. The thing President Trump stresses over and over is that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Here's the president.
We're doing very well against the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're doing extremely well. They would like to do something, but I say they're not ready yet. They need more of the same. They're not ready yet. They got some evil intentions. We cannot let them have a nuclear weapon.
One sign, perhaps, of a bigger battle ahead on the horizon. A number of mayors of Israeli cities have opened up bomb shelters across the country. They usually do that when the threat level has been raised. It is raised now. Jillian, back to you.
Steve, we're hearing increased chatter from administration officials through reporters that the president is considering making some kind of a major military move and escalation in this conflict. What are you hearing from your sources on the ground in the region?
I think it's clear by the surge in forces, the surge not only in material, but also things like medics to Germany, that there is a range of options for the president. With 50,000 forces in the region, there's certainly a wide range of options he can have, including what he says, a massive invasion, a massive attack. That's something that certainly people here feel. They sense it could be coming. Bomb shelters are open. People are on really high alert walking around. There is a sense of tension in the region. But of course, the president, one of his great strengths is that he's unpredictable. So whether he'll take that route or whether he'll use it for a compromise ordeal, still not clear at this point.
Yeah, and Steve, a big obvious part of the equation here has been the rise in energy prices as things have been escalating. We see oil back near that $90 mark, although it is down just a bit today. Gas prices here at home have topped $4 a gallon in this escalation, in this phase of the war. Steve, how much are you hearing that this puts pressure on the situation and increases the urgency?
Certainly, that's been a key factor. The president and the administration aware of the pain that those high gas prices cause people. Of course, gas jumping over, oil jumping over $100 a barrel briefly this week. That's when the Houthis opened up a potential second front. They attacked 2 Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea. So you have the problems in the Strait of Hormuz, Saudi Arabia trying to go around that through the Red Sea, now attacks by the Houthis there. That really spiked oil prices. That is another problem, a potential second front for this administration to deal with.
All right, Steve, we've got to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and bring up the rest of my tabs. So there are good news stories tonight. So don't leave us if you're like, Leah, I don't really want to hear about World War III again tonight. But we are covering this because it is an actual real deal happening. So
I opened up Mom's.
oh, that's funny.
I think. There we go.
So we do have a little bit to be concerned about. You heard about them talking about the gas prices.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I was
Where are we going next?
just right next door.
Okay. Well, it's not right next door because I wouldn't have that one up. I just need to have it ready. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I'll just wait.
No, you don't have this up?
I can't get it up without it playing.
Okay. So I've been watching gas prices. How many have been watching gas prices? I was going to fill up. It was at $3.49. And then the next day it was like $3.69, and then it was $3.89. Now it's $3.99 around here. Dropped back down to $3.69. We are on the precipice of something very scary with gas and oil. So I'm going to play this from Tucker.
Okay. Is it this one? Nope. That's our telegram. Where is it? There it is.
Long as the strait stays closed, the rest of the world is going to have to readjust to a deficit of at least 19 million barrels per day. And that's just oil. Because he is Donald Trump, whatever you think of him, he has these moments of kind of amazing candor, says things that are obviously true from time to time.
If we keep bombing, those ships won't be going. And you're talking about $500, $600, $700 million a day. You run out of reserves in about 4 weeks. You know, there are reserves all over the world. We would really run out, and there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it. And you want to see bedlam?
Wait a second. 3 days after the Secretary of War told us on CBS that actually, you know, like, who cares about the Strait of Hormuz? There's the President of the United States saying, actually, we got 4 weeks to go until we run out of oil. And then there's, quote, bedlam. People are just eating each other, fighting in the street because they have no oil. Probably both of these are an exaggeration, but the latter, the president's assessment, is, of course, obviously closer to the truth. And we know that because for the duration of this war, a war over a strait that apparently doesn't matter, well, then why are we fighting over it? The United States has been in the process of draining its strategic petroleum reserve. Something like 172 million barrels taken out since this war began. Now, why would we do that? If we didn't need the energy, if it didn't matter, probably wouldn't be drawing down the strategic petroleum reserve. In fact, we probably wouldn't be fighting this war in the first place, be talking about a humiliating MOU with Iran in which we admit we're powerless. Why would we go through any of this if we didn't very desperately need to keep that strait open? Well, of course, the answer is we wouldn't. Clear picture emerges, and of course, it's the picture of desperation. It's a group of people who went into a war with certain expectations, hopes, delusions. They told themselves certain things were going to happen. Those things didn't happen, and now they're desperate. It's all very obvious. Again, you probably wouldn't drain your strategic petroleum reserve and get 18 Americans killed and go through the whole drama of all of this if you didn't have to.
Good question. I don't know if we have 4 weeks left of oil. I don't know why Trump would say that. but I do know that he is very hyperbolic, but it is something to be concerned about. And it's definitely why we need to do a show and why we need to talk about these things, because what is true, and we do need to know what's going on. Now, this is Trump's words this week on what's going on.
These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment.
This is old Trump, by the way.
Perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad. We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars. We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state. I am the president who delivers peace. I was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. And the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt president in history is going to drag us into World War III. And this horrible, horrible president is dragging us toward World War III. We're going to be in World War III soon. Because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran. Large sections of the Middle East. I mean, look at the death and destruction that's taken place. And none of this would have happened if I were president. Our opponents join with warmongers and neocons to wage endless wars, these wars that never end. Together we're fighting to secure our borders, end the endless foreign wars, and defend the working people of America.
So I don't know if you knew this, but there was a vote in the House today. It has not passed the Senate, that would merge our military with Israel's, and it passed in the House. It has not passed in the Senate. I pose to you that Israel is in control, and you see that Israel is in control regardless of the party, because of how Trump switched from every single rally that he ever did or went to, saying, I'm not going to start new wars. I'm the only president who didn't do no wars. And then he said, I don't want to go into Iran.
Has been Israel, how supportive Democratic candidates want to be of Israel and U.S. aid to Israel. Over the summer, it's been largely seen as a Democratic issue, but it might not just be a party thing. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. When we're talking about Israel's favorability in the United States, in general, there's some big changes.
There are some absolutely huge, mammoth changes, generational changes that we're talking about. And I think there are a lot of Republicans, we'll be able to run against these anti-Israeli Democrats once we hit the general election, because the general electorate feels very differently from the Democratic base. But the general electorate, look at these numbers on Israel, the net favorability. They're all negative. They're all negative. Ipsos, minus 10 points. Fox, minus 11 points. MU, Marquette University Law School law poll. Look at that, minus 20 points. Pew Research Center, minus 23 points. Negative, 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 negative. And Gallup earlier this year was also negative. We're not just talking about the Democratic base anymore. We're talking about the general electorate as well. The general electorate has turned against Israel. This is not just a left issue. It is an American issue when it comes to opinions on Israel.
What's the trend line here?
What's the trend line here? The trend line is unbelievable. Look at the trend line here. Compare this to Donald Trump's first term. At this point in Donald Trump's first terms, Israel's average net favorability. Wow. You go back here, look at this. It was plus 51 points. Wow, Johnny says. Wow, Johnny says. So many times. Plus 51. It's minus 16 points in the average poll now. That is what, a 67-point shift against Israel in just 8 years. Israel used to be a consensus issue in American politics, and that was a pro-Israeli position. Now the consensus has actually shifted, and now when it comes to the general electorate, it is a minus. Israel is now seen negatively, and we're seeing it in poll after poll after poll.
You just had this vote in the House where 100 Democrats voted against military assistance to Israel. How is that specific issue seen right now?
Yeah, you said wow, right? How about wow again? Take a look here. I never thought I'd see the day. Military assistance to Israel say U.S. should reduce or end it. Overall, 55% say they should reduce or end it. And it is true.
So I'm going to play Tucker here talking about how the House just voted to merge our intelligence with Israel's.
Decided that the interest of Israel is more important than the interest of the United States. There are a couple of exceptions, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, and they were driven out of the Republican Party. So it tells you what the priority is. The priority is serving Israel. And even if I liked Israel, which I do not, because it's committing genocide, I think we deserve sovereignty. So it's really that simple. Well, I think America lost its sovereignty many years ago. I mean, CIA and Mossad have worked together, in some cases really as one, for over 60 years. I mean, and of course, Mossad has fed repeatedly disinformation lies to American policymakers over decades, including the lie that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. That fundamentally came from Israel. There's no dispute about that. The lie that killing the Ayatollah, the Shiite Pope, would lead to the collapse of the Iranian government. No American intelligence agency said that. Mossad said that. And Netanyahu told Trump that. So there's a long track record of the United States, its people, its 350 million people, being misused by Israeli intelligence. And so the idea that you would merge them formally is a generational disaster. It's also humiliating, of course. It says to the people of the United States, you have no control over your own country. You were told this is yours. You run it. You own it. You're a shareholder in this enterprise.
Isn't it a form of treason?
And so, well, it's the definition of treason. It's the definition. This is treason. This is acting against your own nation on behalf of a foreign nation. But a lot of Americans are waking up to the fact it's not a minor problem. It's not an ancillary problem. It's not just something we should fix in the future. It is the problem that led us into a war that's ending American empire and going to cause mass.
So Israel's infiltration into American politics. Okay. Now they want to own and control our intelligence agencies and merge them as one Borg mind. And what that is it's not that they're not trying to gain American intelligence.
Right.
What they're trying to do is to gain control over our intelligence.
Right.
And to be the masters and commanders of our military.
Right.
Because that's what they need. They have an incredible, let's just say they have no problems with confidence. They have a mindset that whatever is good for us, we will do.
Right.
We will take over any country. We will take over any military. We will do what we have to do because at the end of the day, it's not they don't have an outlook like we do to care for the rest of the world. Their outlook is selfish, self-centered, insular, and whatever. If it's good for you and good for them, just like a narcissist, it's okay. But what Israel is doing is they have used this mantra and deceived themselves that they must survive. And that in order to survive, they have to have their own country. And in order to have their own country, then they have to basically rule the world and control, because they have convinced themselves that everybody is out to get them.
Right.
They're psychopaths, and they truly live in a delusional world where they believe that they have to do these things. They have convinced themselves they can lie, they can cheat, they can kill their own citizens, they can kill 180 schoolgirls. Nothing is out of bounds. It's only out of bounds if it makes them look bad or it goes against their agenda of achieving finality. Is that their finality is worldwide domination of the Jews. Unfortunately, that's their theology and their ideology. And I don't even think they know or understand that's what it is. So Trump's been pulled into this. Michelle, we played a compilation of him saying, I don't want to do anything with Iran. No new wars. I'm the best president in the world. I'm the only other president that hasn't started a new war. And here he is talking about blowing up civilian power plants and bridges in Iran.
The parasite that is giving people a 9.
Oh, wait. Hang on. We are going to come back to this. That one's funny. Not you. You.
You're talking about blowing up civilian power plants and bridges. Much of the civilized world would consider that a war crime. Do you?
I won't respond to that question. Who are you with?
The New York Times.
I figured so. Failing New York Times. Yeah, please.
You're talking about blowing up civilian power plants and bridges. Much of the civilized world.
So what Trump wants to do some sort of ground invasion. He's preparing troops for a ground invasion. I don't know if it's if we are going to go into some sort of ground invasion. But he's basically out of options right now, and he has to win this war somehow by saving face. And if he's going down this route of some sort of full scale, what a ground invasion would be is full scale all out war. And let's see, where am I? This is So Trump has warned of a massive attack on Iran, a 13th consecutive night of U.S. bombing, followed by a warning by Donald Trump of a massive attack against Iran, adding to questions over what constitutes victory for the United States and how it can be achieved. Republican Representative Michael McCall told Fox News the U.S. military was winning this war against Iran, and with the conflict poised for a major escalation, it seems the metric for victory continues to shift. Goals of stopping Tehran from getting a nuclear weapon, degrading its ballistic missiles arsenal, and ending its regional proxy threat now seem to be superseded by the immediate priority of fully reopening the Strait of Hormuz, where 1/5 of the world's energy products transits. If Iran doesn't have exclusive control of the Strait of Hormuz, and if the U.S. doesn't unfreeze the majority of Iran's frozen assets, I think this could be considered a win. Says Zav Fengtuch, head of research, intelligence, and security firm Global Guardian, told Newsweek. Freeing up around $24 billion worth of Iranian funds was said to be among the terms of the June 17th Memorandum of Understanding, which paused the Iran war, opened the strait, and preceded 60 days of talks about Tehran's nuclear program. Fantuk said the latest strikes did not curb Iran's nuclear program as much as the 12-day war last June did, but Iran's conventional military capabilities have been degraded, so it's probably considered a victory. He believes the Trump administration will try to find some kind of off-ramp before September, around 60 days before the midterms. We have another 2 or 4 weeks until there's going to be a pretty desperate diplomatic play. The U.S. president has said Iran was responsible for attacks by Tehran-backed Houthis on shipping in the Red Sea and the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which have threatened the other major choke point for shipping in the region. Trump told Axios on Thursday, I am considering a massive attack. This is Trump, okay? Bigger than ever before. Without specifying further, the outlet reported that 2 other U.S. officials said no new orders have been given to the military. I think what it means is a dramatically escalated air campaign, said retired U.S. Vice Admiral Robert Murdoch, told Newsweek. I don't see any evidence of a large deployment of ground troops. Now, we are seeing some movement, and people are posting that on Twitter. So let me see if I can find the clips I'm looking for. Go ahead. Are
you still talking about the intelligence sharing? I wasn't listening at all.
No.
Can I go back to that for 1 second?
Yeah.
Because I think that this is important. So the already precedented intelligence sharing that we have, it's called the Five Eyes. You guys probably know about it. It's the UK, Canada, Australia, the United States, and who's the 5th one? Does anybody remember? This coalition between Israel and the United States takes the Five Eyes connection and goes even deeper. Okay. So we already have a pretty broad.
We don't need anything else.
Intelligence sharing, which Israel is not a part of. And Israel could join the Five Eyes, except for I have a sneaking suspicion that Canada and the UK and Australia and whoever the 5th country is that I can't think of right now probably don't want Israel in there. So I'm going to read to you a couple of the comparisons between the two. Okay? Okay, pumpkin. The Five Eyes, its core focus is a global automated signals intelligence, okay? But the new U.S.-Israel framework, the NDAA FY 2027, has a deep tactical battlefield integration and tech co-development. It's way deeper. It's incestuous. It is like a marriage, okay? It's like everything that's mine is yours, everything that's yours is mine. Then there's a data fusion. This is under the 5 Eyes. The data fusion is this: shared, raw, unfiltered, intelligent data lakes. Okay, what that means is, let me explain that to you. When you share raw, unfiltered, intelligent data lakes, everybody looks at the same information that is available, but we're not sharing our interpretation of it. Okay. It's just raw, unfiltered intelligence, kind of like the Associated Press, right? Everybody gets the same stuff. And then what you do with it might be slightly different. But what the US does with that data and that information is then not shared. Okay. You're sharing the raw, unfiltered data, right? With the US and Israel coalition, it mandates unprecedented data fusion and shared cyber defense tracking. Okay. This is, again, it's like, it's not just we're all kind of sharing the same information. It's like everything that we have is yours and everything that you have is ours. Then with supply chains, with the 5 Eyes, it's separate national military supply chains. But with the Israel-US deal, it aims to merge military technology and supply chains. What? So all of our military technology we just give to Israel? Because here's the deal. They don't have anything to offer us. It's just us giving it to them. We're going to give them our supply chains? This is ridiculous, okay? This connection. Then the oversight of 5 Eyes is governed by the multilateral UK-USA agreement. But this one creates a dedicated, listen to this, Pentagon executive agent to permanently synchronize the systems. Permanently synchronize the systems. This is unprecedented. This is ridiculous. We should not be fusing everything that we have. Unlike the 5 Eyes, which is mostly focused on passive intelligence gathering, this coalition focuses heavily on joint weapon development. It heavily integrates artificial intelligence. Oh, that's great. Quantum technology. Oh, even better. Autonomous drone networks. Oh, hallelujah. And electronic warfare capabilities directly into the U.S. military programs.
Says that it's locked. This
forever
into 2030, and Congress would not be able to do any oversight. They just create a hand-picked person.
One agent from the Pentagon. One guy.
Yeah, this is really bad.
So I just wanted to give you guys like a comparison, because it's like most people are like, well, we already have the 5 Eyes and that's totally okay. You know what? It's not the same. We're not fused with UK intelligence. We're not fused with Australian intelligence. Okay. And you know what else? You know what else that sets apart the 5 Eyes and this US Israel coalition is that there's a no spy clause between the 5 Eyes. Okay. Mm-hmm. We in the UK and Australia, we have a clause that says we ain't allowed to spy on you. Okay. There is no such clause for the US and Israel coalition. And do you know why? It's not because the United States wants to spy on Israel. It's because Israel has spies in the US everywhere, and a whole bunch of people would be out of jobs. Thousands of them that are paid permanent spies in the United States. So they can't put in a no spy clause because they have them by the droves.
Well, it's a gentleman's agreement. It's not exactly law, but yeah.
My point is, no such agreement exists under the U.S.-Israel permanent
Well, and the big thing
coalition.
is that this creates a joint military. So
Exactly.
$750 million are going into all kinds of shit. Like it's a marriage. We're
exactly
we're
what it
building
is.
all of this AI, all this cyber warfare, and all these missiles together, owned together.
Now, I do want to take some time to read 8 Ball's comments because he paid to have them read, and we love you. I would read them anyway. And you guys have some good comments from earlier. All right, so the first one is 8 Ball says, get your news from CNN. You paid $5 to leave that comment, 8 Ball. First of all, you should know better. Leah does a phenomenal job of putting our show together, okay? But I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Yes, she collects clips throughout the week. She does. But sometimes there's a very specific topic that she wants to cover, and it's better if it's in a clip. So she just goes to somewhere to get a clip, gets it quickly. It doesn't matter if it comes from CNN, just so long as it's aligning with what we're trying to report on.
Most Americans have turned against supporting Israel.
Exactly. And that's just a fact. That's true. Okay, so Barry says also, Iran has threatened the UK for allowing Trump to use UK RAF and USAF Air Force bases, or USA air bases, to be used against Iran in the Iran war. 7 says over 90% of senators have been heavily funded by Israel. And then 8Ball paid $1 for this one. I'm only reading these out because it's fun. How much you paid for it. He says they turned against Israel not only as is Satan media pushing the narrative against Trump. I have my problems with him, but now even our own media is on board. He says, I have big issues with Trump, but he was the best choice. Now we must hold his feet to the fire. The one thing that he's done that I agree with on is Iran. He says Tucker is a talking face for Islam. I don't think so at all, because Tucker comes out against Islam all the time. So you can't just throw those things out there. A lot of people want to say that Tucker is just a face for Islam. That's ridiculous. Tucker has talked, and you can see it.
Unfortunately,
you want to take sides, and it's a little bit more esoteric.
Remember,
than
guys. Trump's sons have multi-billion-dollar deals
with Qatar,
and Saudi Arabia and the UAE.
Right.
So this is not anti-Islam. You have to understand, if it was, we would be going down a different path.
No, this is, and that's the thing, 8Ball, and you know this because we talked about it on our show. We are against Islam. We have been unequivocally against Islam. We're not pro-Iran. We are certainly not pro the Ayatollah of Iran. Yes, we're very happy for the Iranian people.
We have done more shows against Iran and the Freedom Hijab girls, I think, than anybody.
For the Freedom girls.
Yeah.
Okay, so to us, it's way deeper than just Islam and Israel, or, you're either pro-Islam or you're pro-Hamas or you're pro-Mossad, whatever.
We've got bases in Kuwait. They are a radical Muslim
What we're trying to say is that this is bigger than just Islam, because if Trump wanted to fight Islam, we would be going after a lot more countries.
Trump does not want to fight Islam. He literally held their orb in his hands.
Like, he's all happy to be doing deals with
Muslims. The
girls
came and did their hair flip thing for him. Now, okay.
Wait, I'm not done with comments. So he says, okay, y'all, listen to this traitor. I'm laying medieval dynasty until the subject and intelligence level changes. 7 says, Israel offered Charlie Kirk $15 million if he would stop talking negatively about Israel and instead support Israel. Charlie Kirk said no thank you to them. Jim says, money is the same for the House of Reps. Israel funds the political campaigns of both the houses of Congress and the presidential races, both sides. Israel can commit genocide like the Nazis without becoming Nazis. Whatever happened to never again. Nana says, did you guys ever see Blurry Creatures or the Biblical Hitmen? They are all over this stuff with receipts. Kimberly says, instead of answering the question, he insults the one asking the question. And Wicked Psych says, Israel wants to expand and Palestine wants the Jewish people eradicated. Both aren't trying to get along. Well said. Nana says, politics is a tool. Barry says, Leah, Islam isn't just at war with the Jews. It's at war with Christians too. I keep saying to you girls, you need to read the Quran for the philosophy of knowing thy enemy.
I have read plenty of the Quran, yes.
Nana says, I'm telling you, ask the Holy Spirit to lead you to the right place, but it's all in the Old Testament, all of it, different era, same story. 7 says they have been using this lie and they don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons, has been used for 40 years. Wicked Psych says, I would rather they get along over picking a side for cheap gas. And 8Ball says, I paid for this comment too, so I want to make sure we give it some love here. Islam versus that say Islam must conquer the world. Please tell me where Israel has said that or where it's said in the Bible.
Oh, it's all over the Bible, but the way that they interpret it.
Right.
That the Israel is going, it says that your enemy, the strict Orthodox Jews believe the scriptures that say, all the scriptures say your enemies will come about your feet. You guys, you need to understand that the Jews read those scriptures and believe those scriptures. We believe them esoterically, that get spiritual, right? They believe it as real and they will come and be your slaves. There's a ton of scriptures that say that.
Now, that's how they use the excuse to do what they do, but they're not big enough to make that happen.
It's not an excuse. It's the Orthodox believe the scriptures.
what I'm saying is they're not big enough to make it happen. Like Islam is big enough to try to make it happen. They do consistently. But if Israel was big enough to make it happen, they absolutely would. He says those Islam verses are the comments for everyone truly interested in the truth. Israel, while not Christians, not going to heaven unless they accept Jesus, is not the enemy. Islam is. Nana says, I have to say, I appreciate the read the Bible in a year audio plans. It has forced me to place in the word I may not have found on my own place in the word. All I know is that since I started, pieces are falling into place. That's wonderful. Leah is giving me the look that says no more comments. We're going to get back to the show.
I got a big star. I got a big show. Okay,
Sorry,
I appreciate your comments. I really, really do. Put them in there, and we'll get to some. We'll get to some, but I do want to get the show going. So Sean Ryan tells Tucker Carlson that all of his friends that are tier 1 and tier 2 operators know that they are not being sent overseas for the United States, but for Israel.
I mean, I think Pete has done some good stuff. You know, I mean, he's cleaned up some of the maybe all of the DEI stuff. I think that's great. Good job. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know what I mean? I don't really know how much influence the SecDef even has anymore. You know, so
the Secretary of Defense.
Good job on that, because that sucked. And I saw a lot of I saw morale come back. I still got some buddies in, but I'll tell you what, I just had some buddies leave, and everybody knows what this is. Everybody knows they're fighting for Israel. It's a joke. And this isn't me saying this. This is not me saying this.
Right.
This is them. This is the guys that are going to go over there in tier 1, tier 2 units that are joking around saying like, yeah, this isn't even for us. And, you know, throughout history, that's not a winning strategy.
Well, especially since
if they don't believe in what they're potentially going to do, which hopefully they're going to do nothing.
Yes.
But high probability they're going to do something. And they know it's not for the United States. It's for a foreign country. Like, then fights out of the dog, buddy.
Really? Well, especially because they could get killed. I mean, it's kind of high stakes.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
They know it's not for us. We're not defending our country.
And you think they know that?
I don't think they know that. I know they know that, because I just had a going away party for one, and that's all he was talking about. And it's fucking sad.
Sorry for this swear word. I had a conversation with a military guy a while ago, and he said the same thing. We're not fighting wars for our country anymore.
So let me ask you this, Leah. Do you think that it is an imminent threat for the United States? And this is the big question that's being touted for the United States, that Iran does not have nuclear weapons, because that is the prevailing narrative that is being pushed, that says we have to do this because Iran and nuclear weapons.
I'm going to let
if these military guys
give me my answer.
If these military guys, who I would assume know even more than we do, don't think that that's the case, why does everybody else? Just because Trump says so?
Let's be very honest with you, something that I'm against. I don't think we should bomb Iranian nuclear facilities. I just don't. I think it would be a huge mistake. It's an act of war against a major country. You go to war with Persia, it will bring your country down. The American people did not rise up in major numbers because we want war with Iran. That was never part of the deal, okay? It was never like, hey, America first, comma, we're going to go do a bunch of, targeted strikes on the inland of Iran. So that's just where I would say that would be a catastrophic mistake. Why we believe this. We have so many pressing problems at home, and our leaders are internationally obsessed, and they are domestically ignorant. Let's be very honest with you. Something
that would be my answer. That's my answer. We have so many issues. You have to clean your own house first. You're being led by a narrative by Israel that Iran is an issue right now. We have homeless people on the streets. We have floods like nobody's business. Trump is out here telling us that we have to accept these data centers. Home prices are through the roof. The gas prices, the insurance prices, everything is going haywire in the United States. And our elected leaders, if your parents are out there trying to take care of everybody else in the neighborhood, but your kids are suffering, there's an issue there. And I want to play this clip here because Trump knows that he has a ton of people in a cult that no matter, we just played a clip, a long montage of Trump saying how over and over again, we will do no new wars. We're not neocons. Those guys were idiots. If Biden and Harris, they get elected again, we're going to be in World War III. We have to stop World War III. We're not going to war with Iran. I don't want to go to war with Iran. We voted for that. We wanted that. And instead we got the flipped of the script. Okay. And Trump has been told, and he knows it in by some sort of diabolical means, that whatever it is that he wants, that MAGA, the real hardcore MAGA, is going to do.
Sorry, I'm trying to find that clip.
Do you need to retweet it?
No, it's probably a little bit further over here.
I got to retweet it. Just go. Just here.
Well, okay. Leah's hot to trot tonight, guys.
I
Better
got
keep
so
up.
much.
Better try and keep up.
Support what I support. You know, we just had a complete win in Arizona. The young gentleman who's Harry Enton, I believe his name is, the pollster, said Trump's 100% favorable. He gets everybody he endorses wins, which is pretty much true. Everyone I endorse, just about, wins. So there seems to be a natural bond between me and MAGA, but I'm the one that created MAGA, and I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else. You know, MAGA knows what MAGA wants, and MAGA's very happy. They want to see this done, and they're not going to be happy if it's not done. Make America great again. It's all about make America. You know, we started that a long time ago. Well, I think
He says that Trump will do what Trump says that MAGA will do whatever he wants because he created MAGA. This is a godlike mentality, and I'm not here for it. Oh, commercial break.
God.
I didn't mean to play this one yet.
Just climbed right out of the sea
I've
onto
seen
my
this.
deck.
Can you touch him?
He just did.
I got you, buddy. Let's get
my
you
gosh,
safely
she's
into
so
this
cute,
container
actually.
of clean seawater. Just hold on tight in there. We are driving back to the harbor as fast as we can. The Marine vet is checking your arms and breathing right now to see what is wrong. Adding these special blue medicine drops to the water will help you recover quickly.
Well, what was wrong with him?
Welcome to your new home, a large saltwater aquarium where you can rest.
Wow. You just noticed him sitting there and changed from pale to a calm reddish brown.
Here is a small crab for you, reaching out your arm to take the food so gently.
You gonna eat the crab? How you gonna eat that crab?
You squeezed your entire body in tiny clay pot. Now you are just peeking out at me. Gathering all 3 differently shaped shells into a neat little pile, you are so organized.
So you want an octopus?
No, I don't, but I do hear that they are incredibly intelligent.
Where I disagree with some pastors is where they say we must defend everything that the Israeli government does. You should not defend everything that the Israeli government does, period. You are loyal to one thing only. You are loyal to Jesus Christ. And that is it. That is your standard.
Oh, come on, Charlie. So good.
So good. All right. So I am going to
support what I support.
Oh, we played that one. So I'm going to take a commercial break because we don't want it to be too heavy tonight. Okay. Played that one. Now, Trump is going all Trumpy on the explosive diarrhea coming from Mexico.
There's this nasty parasite that is giving people in 9 states explosive diarrhea. When is it going to be safe to eat lettuce again?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. It's the first time I've been asked that question. Are you eating lettuce recently?
I should always have more lettuce.
Get out of here, Peter. No, it's a very interesting question from you. I didn't think you'd ask that kind of a question. Nobody wants to ask that question, but it's exciting.
There's this food coming in, I guess, from Mexico. It's tainted. It's making a lot of people sick. That is the CDC's terminology.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a major tariff on Mexico because of the lettuce, and we're going to put a big tariff on Canada because of the smoke. All right? We'll get a comment. Which would you have then? The lettuce or the smoke? I think I'll take the smoked.
Yeah, the smoke wrecked my daughter's swim meet.
Well, it's closed up a lot of countries. I've told
Oh, my
Canada they have
gosh.
to do something about it. You know, we've never had this problem. All of a sudden, we have this problem with Canada. So we'll have to talk to them about that.
We'll have to talk. I think you are already talking to Canada about it.
To talk to Canada about tariff and Mexico. We're gonna
tariff them because of the explosive diarrhea.
Yes. Okay. So here we have massive U.S. bomber formations, continuous surveillance flights, and heavy air movements are now saturating the skies near Iran. This is no longer posturing. This is the opening chapter of the biggest geopolitical financial war of our lifetime, the one that will decide whether the petrodollar survives or dies. If the U.S. fails to completely dismantle the IRGC's control inside Iran, the consequences are not gradual, they are terminal. Iran has already laid down the new law of energy. Every single barrel of oil that passes through the Strait of Hormuz, the artery carrying 20% of the world's crude, must be settled in Chinese yuan, no dollars, full stop. The moment that demand sticks, the 50-year monopoly that forced the world to recycle oil revenues into U.S. treasuries collapses overnight. The petrodollar doesn't weaken, it dies, and the yuan, backed by the real oil flow, becomes the new settlement currency of the energy world. Watch the bombers, watch the surveillance orbits, watch Hormuz, because if this war ends with the IRGC still standing, the dollar's exorbitant privilege ends with it, and a multipolar monetary order ruled by Beijing's currency and decentralized rails takes its place. The markets haven't priced this yet, but they will. The fate of the petrodollar is now being decided in the skies over the Gulf.
Wow.
So what does that mean? I don't know if that's true or not, because we don't know how it's going to play out. This is something that is happening in real time. We don't know if Iran is going to end up controlling the Strait of Hormuz. If they do, and they do demand that the oil, 20% of the world's oil, is settled in the yuan, which is a very, very corrupt, debased form of money. So corrupt that Hong Kong wouldn't use it for years because they can just print it and they fake everything, like worse than the United States.
Worse than the fiat dollar.
All right. So this is just a war update with Trump's military blockade on Iran just fired upon a second commercial ship that tried to circumvent the block 4 times.
Military has fired on and disabled another commercial ship trying to violate its blockade on Iranian ports. It happened in the Gulf of Oman. The U.S. Central Command saying the ship tried to run the blockade at least 4 times. It's the second vessel to be disabled since the military reimposed that blockade. President Trump, meantime, says he has not yet made a decision. His military has fired.
He has not yet made a decision. We'll see what happens. I think that Trump actually has already made his decision. That's my guess.
I don't know. I still don't know. I think things are still really up in the air right now. I don't think they know what to do, honestly. All right, back to Sean Ryan here. It's right to the right. He went on Tucker Carlson and kind of bore his soul on social media. He went all in for Trump, and
they all did.
He is very disillusioned.
Is a lie. Like that became like a coined term, I guess. But everything is a lie. I mean, every politician I've sat across from, with maybe the exception of Eli Crane, who I disagree with on a lot of.
Yep.
I hate that I even have to say that. I don't agree with everything they have to say. You know, why the fuck?
Sorry. Good job.
Like Eli. He's very, pro-Israel. I'm not. But he can articulate why he is and whatever. I respect it. At least he's not just regurgitating shit, like most people. But everybody else, it's just, it's been a lie. And then the other thing is, I mean, which it really shouldn't bother me, but you talk to somebody and then it's like, how dare you platform that person? And it's like, actually, I probably just did you a favor because he just spent 4 hours lying to me on my podcast that you're going to be able to use for his next political campaign.
Exactly.
Too fucking stupid.
Sorry,
out, aren't you? But I mean, it's, and they do. And I don't know. I put a lot of faith in a lot of these guys and women, that have come on, and Really, the only one that really impressed me was Joe Kent. You know, in the long run, everybody else has just been a wash or a complete disaster, just a lying piece of shit. What about you?
As we discussed last night at dinner, I'm still trying to figure out what all of this means as someone who campaigned for Trump and told everybody Trump is the option to the Uniparty. You got Republicans, Democrats are on the same side, but Trump is not. He's on a different side, maybe even the public side. And then Trump, the last hope, winds up aligning with Chuck Schumer and just joins the Uniparty in the most obvious way. At that point, you have to ask yourself, is there a political solution to the problems that we have? And I don't know the answer, but I'm starting to think maybe there isn't. I don't know. I feel as discouraged as you do, though I don't articulate it quite as well and forcefully as you do, but I kind of feel that way.
I really appreciated this conversation. You can bring up, I think, skip one, and there's another clip here where he's talking about these 8 people that he later picked, that were later picked from the administration. He says 2 of them thanked me personally because they said that my interviews are the ones that got them there. And he says now that they're in there, it's like they want me to do stuff. And he's like, are they monitoring me? Are they listening to me when I'm talking to my wife? And yeah, like now you're being watched.
I interviewed 8 people that got picked up for the administration. 2 of them thanked me personally because they said my interviews are the ones that got them in there. One of them got picked 5 days after I released the interview, Secretary of War. After they all got in there, some of them trying to influence me, and senators and congressmen and other people. Now that they're in there, it's like they want me to pretty much have made my statements, like I'm very loud about shit, and I message I don't fucking
Oh my gosh.
I got paranoid. Like, are they monitoring me because they're worried I'm gonna go against them? Are they listening when I'm talking to my wife? Or are they listening when I go to dinners with people? Like, what is happening?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
Short answer, I know there's some swear words in that, but this is a very important conversation because very few of us ever get up close and personal with people who are running the government.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Ryan has a huge podcast, and he's like leans conservative, libertarian. I love his podcast. I hate the swear words, want to run it through an algorithm to bleep out the swear words. But he's been disillusioned. Tucker's been disillusioned. When you unplug from that matrix and you truly get red pilled on the fact that the current administration, Tulsi Gabbard, Secretary of Defense, Marco Rubio, all these people are towing the line. They're not real. They're robots now. Tulsi was incredibly anti-war in Syria. And Michelle and I have been since 2016. So I think that we've been pretty steady. But when you get in there, the Uniparty, they suck you in and they spit you out and they get stuff on you. And it's like, you can see the robot face come over them, right? Play this clip here where Tucker asked Sean Ryan about advice to young men, and don't put any of your faith in man. He says too many people in Washington chase power.
If you had a son who was like 15 or 25 or, older and said, what advice would you give me about how to live? What would your advice be?
Don't put your faith in any man.
Yeah.
You're going to be disappointed every single time.
That's really wise. There's something in us that wants to believe in other people. Did you put your faith in Pete Hegseth?
Yep.
What was your takeaway from your interview with him?
Well, if I remember right, I don't remember the interview that well, but if I remember right, Pete wanted to be the Secretary of the Veterans Affairs.
Yeah, he did in the first term.
And I just don't really have much interest in the Veterans Affairs. And so I steered the interview into what would you do if you were Secretary of Defense? Because I was much more interested in that kind of stuff than I was with the Veterans Affairs. Being a veteran, I just think the VA is a lost cause.
Really?
Yeah. And so I steered it that way. And then 5 days later, after the release, the guy gets, I didn't even want to interview Pete. Because it was a book. He had a book out, and he's a Fox News guy, and I fucking hate Fox News. And I was like,
I have not listened to this clip, so I have a hard time getting out the cuss words.
I don't want to interview him because he's a Fox News guy.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. Like, I think it was whatever. I was like, all right, we'll do it. And then it was like, all right, hurry up and get this interview out. You just get it out. Let's get this over with.
You didn't think you were about to change history of the world?
No.
Yeah.
And then 5 days later, he gets picked up for Secretary of Defense.
What did you think when you heard that?
I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. And then it inflated my ego. I'm like, holy shit, the show has power. Then I went to the Army-Navy football game, and he points at me. He goes, thank you. I'm like, I was up at the box with all the bigwigs, Vance and Trump and all of them. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? But it inflates my ego. And I'm like, holy shit. And then everybody else gets picked. Kash Patel, Tulsi, Now I'm not saying like I'm the guy, but for that one, that interview definitely had some influence.
How do you think it's gone?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of these guys really have any. The funny thing is, like, you see all these people get up there and they get addicted to this fucking power that they do not have.
Right.
And it's like you think you're so powerful. But you can't even
smart.
You can't even say what's on your mind. Like, you're powerless. You have no fucking power. You're around power that's telling you what to do and what to say. And it's like, I don't get but they probably don't see it. You know what I mean? They probably don't see it.
So you can stop that.
So
no
sorry
more
about
Sean
the curse
Ryan.
words.
I know that's his language. You just have to filter it out.
Well, I just like for our show to be family friendly.
I
and
do
Tonight
too.
is not a family friendly show.
If somebody wants to come be my assistant and run through our clips through AI,
Well, they
the cuss
can't.
words out.
They literally can't because you don't get them until 2 seconds before the show, though.
You could. If I had an assistant, I would.
No, you wouldn't. If we had a web browser
that'd be good.
if you guys know of one, I would pay big money for that for our show.
Yes. Okay. But here's the thing. That's his language right now. My mom always said that, some people, that's their language. And so you just kind of got to roll with it because what he has to say is important. And this interview was really, really important. The world that we're living in is coming undone. And we thought that Trump and we thought, Pete Hegseth, and you got behind him and you cheered him on. And we met Kash Patel. We interviewed Kash Patel and I never did, but they cheered him on. They cheered on. I appreciated Tulsi Gabbard and I kind of cheered her on.
Sure.
And what he's saying is that it's all a facade. And so whether it's the government or whether it's a big organization, or whether it's a church, whether it's His Glory with Dave Scarlett, whether it's IHOP or Bethel or Heinz Ketchup, okay? Everybody, he admitted to something here that was so important, okay? I saw it, you saw it. You go to the fights, Dana White invites Trump, and then it becomes this thing of who's who showing up at a fight where two men are fighting to pulverize each other and take their eye sockets out, the UFC. And again, he's like, I was invited to the Army-Navy game, and he said it inflated my ego.
Yeah, at least he was honest about it.
When you're doing these podcasts and something goes viral or you make a difference, it inflates your ego. And you know what? You can do so in a good way. Like if you were to, expose the vaccines and it got around, or you got out the word on ivermectin or something like that, that would be something that would be a positive thing to take with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it still, again, inflates the ego. God, in his mercy and grace for Michelle and I, has found it so perfect to deflate our ego so that if it has ever risen and we get a video that goes viral and everybody hears about it, then our ego is soon deflated. So I have no ego, and it's wonderful because when you live in that place, you can tell the truth.
Amen.
You can speak from your heart. You can speak what you think and what you really believe. And what I believe, we're going to switch stories here a little bit, is that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by Israel. I truly believe that. And so Iran has taken that narrative. It's not that one.
I know. I'm just closing some stuff.
And they have made a Lego movie thing on the Charlie Kirk assassination. And watch for the clues, because what's so interesting is I'm wondering if they're thinking this through or they're just running it through AI. Like, what are the top things that Americans are talking about with the Charlie Kirk assassination? And then, you know, or are they actually writing a script? If they're actually writing a script on this, I am highly impressed. This is supposed to be Charlie Kirk.
Check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex, who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test, too many questions left unchecked. He told her right, don't take that ride. I ran it out right, don't sell that lie. Regime change, turns fire to flood. 90 million lives, mountains blood. MAGA heard them numbers don't lie. Almost 90 said no when the poll went high. No war with Iran, that message spread. Then the war drums came when the voice went dead. SUV floor, pieces on black. Roll white marks, now run that back. They said one shot, one rooftop frame, but the mic got louder than the official claim. Mic check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex, who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test, too many questions left unchecked.
So I don't know if you're listening to these words. Before the bomb, they needed Charlie off the set. Mic check, mic check. They're taking the mic exploding narrative, which I believe is the right one. And then they're actually putting Candace in the thing. Watch.
Candace pulled threads, they called it noise, but questions don't die when they fear that voice. Who clipped the mic? Who cleaned the scene? Who moved too fast behind the screen? Bullet fragment came back then, not cleared, not closed, still questions within. Prosecutor talk, judge struck back, now the courtroom pressure got cracks in the track. BB wanted fire, Charlie said wait, don't hand America another war state. He wasn't Iran, he wasn't outside, but truth is truth when the war machine lies. He saw the trap before the blast, said that road turns nations to ash, and headlines spun and the war got sold. Now the mic check echoes through the code. Hot mic glow, black shard shine, war drums roll, right on time. Mic check. He said no war, now read the rest. Before the bombs, before the flex, who needed Charlie off the set? Mic check, hot mic, black shards, white text. Rifle story, bullet test, too many questions left unchecked. Sacred defense. He said no war, Iran remembers, questions remain. Mic check. Sacred defense.
So that's creepy.
That is super creepy. That is really, really super creepy. Now, I want to play this here from a Green Beret and CIA contractor who is speaking out. Mike Glover says investigators were denied access and told to turn around and fly away. He says the Charlie Kirk case deserves a real investigation.
The canyon from my house, and all of them were denied access and told to turn around and get back on the plane and fly away. So it wasn't just words and blockading or ignoring phone calls. It was a deliberate and intentional turnaround, which is one of the main reasons when I talk about it on Survival Dispatch, I think it is a massive issue that is nearly like the Epstein issue, where there's so much convolution and corruption involved in all of the information that it ever released would cause all this controversy, which is why the full JFK picture has not been presented as promised. The full MLK picture, RFK picture has not been fully divulged as promised. It's because they're trying to protect us, that's their justification, from the information because it's a need to know, and we don't have a need to know.
Okay. Oops. I have no idea why that.
Well, they have their own commercials.
There's only one reason that I can think of that you would possibly not fix that problem, and it's that, and it's that if you didn't want that problem to be fixed.
I am not suicidal. I've done ibogaine and psilocybin, and in no way would I ever do anything to self-harm myself.
Well, same here for the record. So the $1 million question or questions, do you think the identified shooter actually did it? And or do you think there was foreign involvement? I don't know if you've followed up with any of the stuff that Candace Owens has been putting out.
Yeah, I do.
Of late about potentially some French connection or that there was a foreign connection of some sort. What do you think happened? Do you have a theory?
My theory is he was the shooter, but there's a lot more involvement, including foreign adversaries. Look, for people to write off the idea that there is no foreign influence, at all in this particular case does not understand history or the world we live in today. Having worked for the CIA, having worked for Special Operations Command at senior positions, briefing generals and deputy directors of the agency and a lot of influential politicians, being a person who advocated for the military's position in Libya, in Benghazi, and talking to members of Congress in investigations of all this, a whistleblower myself, blacked out on Fox News post Benghazi, saying that the military could have responded with Adam Housley. 100% foreign influence is likely the framework of
how this went down. I want to play this clip here. I'm going to play 2 clips and then we'll go back to all the comments. Okay. So I want to play this from Candace, and she's going to play another guy, military guy, who says, you know, Israel has to have been involved
so many times. It's just going to make you happy. I laughed so hard when I watched it, just picturing the crisis at Turning Point USA. They're probably calling all of their crisis PR firms. Turning Point just going, how are we going to spin this? What do we have? It is Robert O'Neill, the former United States Navy SEAL Team 6 sniper who killed Osama bin Laden. Well, he went on to Newsmax, and you're never going to guess, he doesn't quite believe the narrative that the feds are spinning. He does not believe that Charlie was shot with a 30-06 from a Losey rooftop. Again, you got to watch this clip because it's amazing. Take a listen.
Rob, you know what you're talking about. That's why we had you on. You know about ballistics. You shot bin Laden. What bothers you the most about this investigation?
Thanks for having me, Rob, and good to see you, General Holt.
You too.
A lot of things bothers me about this. Nothing in particular. It's not like I'm out there saying big lie or conspiracy.
This guy
or someone
shot
I'm just
Osama
saying,
bin Laden.
I've been in a lot of shootings. I've killed more than a handful of people, and this thing looked shady off the bat. I mean, I've killed people closer than I saw the camera, and I've never seen a shirt move like that. That looks like an explosion to me. Just the fact that no one started doing first aid to Charlie Kirk, they were more concerned about getting SIM cards out of cameras, removing cameras, and then getting him off the X somehow. There didn't seem a lot of concern for his life. It seemed like just clean it up. And then, I mean, I've been told they paved it over a couple days later. And then you get Erica Kirk behind all the razzle-dazzle, and she's really quick to forgive the alleged shooter, which technically says that was him because I forgive him, but that you can't forgive Candace Owens for having an opinion or asking questions. And they mock people by saying, oh, I'm just asking questions. Yeah, I'm a SEAL Team 6 sniper. I'm asking a lot of questions. No one wants to answer them.
I mean, I think he said everything there. It's what everybody's thinking and what everybody is saying, and they just can't buy enough influencers. What are they going to do? Call him a psychopath, a sociopath? They could do, like, you know, the Pastor Gambit thing, have them all come out and say he's demonic and he's possessed. How dare he attack a widow? We could bring back Dana Lash. She could start speaking the widow to Robert O'Neill. I just don't know how you respond to that. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know how bullets work. What are you going to say there? And it just keeps getting better, that clip, because Robert O'Neill was joined by Air Force Brigadier General Blaine Holt. And here is what he had to say regarding the narrative.
General, same to you. So this rifle, this 30-06, it's a powerful rifle. What do you make of this narrative that the bullet might have hit Charlie's spine, which would explain why the damage wasn't what you would typically see with a rifle like that from that range?
No, that's not what happened. And this is the thing that hurts here is, and what bothers me the most out of it.
Wait, did you say, General, you don't think that's what happened?
Absolutely not. I'm with Rob. Something exploded on him. But I don't have to get into the details because I'm not in a court of law having to prove a darn thing. Here's what bothers me is there are millions of vets with Rob's training in combat arms as low as mine is. I'm a pilot. But we have enough training to know better than the garbage that was foisted upon us from the Justice Department that day, where they seemingly solved the case in about 8 hot seconds. And we know better. You're not going to take a 30-06 with a kid who's never killed anybody up onto a roof. He takes his first life and does all the things that Rob says he did. So what bothers me, Rob, in all of this is that they know that we know better, and yet they foist this as the narrative and the parable anyway. Why would you do that? Well, why would you do that in a circus where there's so many of us who are already going to go, well, that's not exactly what happened at all?
I just love the way he says, no, that's not what happened. It's like he's dealing with children. Like, no, I'm not even, just let's stop that narrative altogether. It's not what happened. It's what we've all been saying since the very beginning. But these people have the street cred to sit up there and to say, this is ridiculous. And so what is the
men who like the guy who killed Osama bin Laden. You know, you would think that snipers would kill a lot of people. But he says, I've killed a handful of people. He has not killed a lot of people.
If you kill more than one person, it's a big deal.
So the
Kill one
idea
person, it's a big
that this trans kid, Michelle, would get on the roof, fire a shot, boom, take him right out in the neck, done. I'm telling you, nobody's even talking about that. I hate the idea. The same thing with the kid who shot at Trump. Like, he did shoot kind of sideways a little bit, but this particular what kind of training does he have to get on the roof to shoot not to the side of? I'm, Michelle, more likely to believe that these self-trained snipers or whatever are going to, when they get to shooting, they're going to shoot to the left. They're going to shoot to the right. They're not going to hit their target. Michelle, a sniper is going to hit his target if it was a gun, right? When you see the shirt go back, the guy is saying, I have shot a handful of people wearing shirts. None of my bullets have ever caused a shirt to ricochet. We do know that while they're in the car, they're trying to clean up the stuff in the car. They're looking at each other. They're down there. I know what they're doing, and it sickens me. He's got to die. Did he die yet? Did he die yet? Did he die yet? Did he die yet? We can't do like.
Do you think every single person that was behind the scenes was in on it?
The ones that seem to not.
Because there were a lot of guys that were around
Yeah.
Charlie when he went down. And I've heard from some of them, I don't remember the one guy's name. He seemed kind of genuine, like trying to, help and do something.
I think everybody who got in the car was behind it.
Okay. That's a lot of people.
I think it took a lot of people to make this happen. Let's play this over here. This is a clip going viral of Candace releasing text messages with Charlie Kirk on Israel from 2023. There it is.
For saying genocide is always wrong. Charlie said, good. He continues. I've told all the Jews recently to go to hell who try and tell me to stop. I said, it's unreal. It's an implicit threat. He said, BTW to the flight workout, okay? I was 40 weeks pregnant and he was helping me to find a plane last second. And I said, by the way, you are featured in my Tucker interview that just dropped. I defended you hardcore. I forgot to mention that he just dropped it. And he said, thank you. We are on the same team. Screw these people. And I said around the 20-minute mark. And he said, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. Very few of us are willing to stand up to the cabal right now. I said, thank you so much for having my back. You know I have yours. I'm really so disgusted by what they did to you. Years of service to the pro-Israel cause, and no one cares, treating you like you are only as good as what you can do to them. The plane worked out great today. Thank you so much. It made all the difference. This pregnant, LOL, I'm literally 40 weeks. And he wrote, absolutely, we are on the same team. People are waking up, and it is finally happening. He continued, it is so transactional. I am repulsed by it. For years, I was called a Jewish shill. And now they say, I am a Hamas agent. Screw them. The game has changed. So that's a snippet into what began conversations between me and Charlie over the course of, I guess only a year and a half later, he would be dead. Just over a year and a half later, he would be murdered, about Zionism and how they were moving in on speech, how they were bullying us. We have conversations about Seth Dillon, all the players who we were involved and trying to gaslight us by name calling us, and very clearly we're coordinating with one another.
All right, so we're going to play one more here. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. There we go.
It's true that at Charlie's actual Catholic mass burial, which was the day before the memorial event, that Erica made her own family members and everyone present sign NDAs. That's what I was told. And similarly, the same thing was done here. And this is what Twitch's family told Gayle King on CBS. Take a listen.
We were, trying to figure out what we were going to do or what she wanted to do in terms of plans. And then I got a phone call saying, we need you guys to sign non-disclosure agreements And we were like, why? What's going on? What is this for?
In the modern world, political power doesn't just come from Washington, D.C. It comes from media companies, influencer organizations, big donors, and the people who control the narrative. Organizations like TPUSA, influencers like Erica Kirk, Miss Erica Franzfey, James O'Keefe, and others have built massive political influence, not by being elected, but by controlling attention, media, and the narrative. So in this episode, I want to ask a question that might make people uncomfortable. Are we fighting corruption and propaganda, or are we watching a new version of Babylon being built right in front of us? You can decide for yourself. Most people believe politics is left with that entire.
So, here's the thing, and Wicked Psyched, I don't know if you just are kind of on the side of it's all just exactly the way that it's being presented, saying Candace hates Erica. I think that Candace does not like Erica. I don't see how that plays into it. I don't think that. See, let me pose to you a theory, because I know this from, kind of personal experience. Let's say you're really close friends with somebody and they fall in love with a fraud.
Yeah.
And you try to be as supportive as you can be, but you can feel that something is not right, that something is wrong. So just saying,
especially
that
if you knew them
Candace
before.
doesn't like Erica is not a like, ooh, she's biased against Erica. She may just there's a lot of people out there that I don't like, that I have not liked from the beginning because I know that they're not real. That doesn't mean that I'm biased to want to find all the wrong in them. It just means that I think that I'm pretty clear-headed in seeing what's wrong. Now, I don't like Candace. I don't. And I never have. If you guys have been tuning into our show for 10 years, from day one, I have not liked Candace. We played
I don't like her attitude. I don't like the way
she threw Alex under the bus when Alex gave her
the platform to begin with.
And she kind of was like, oh, it was just all me. No, it was really Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like Candace.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I'm not going to play clips that where she's showcasing things that I actually agree with and find credible. I don't think that she's a broken clock that's right twice a day. I think that she gets a lot of things right. And I think that her moral compass is very narcissistic and selfish and self-centered. That doesn't mean that she's wrong about things, but it also doesn't mean that I'm going to go rah Candace all the time, because I'm just not. I think that her obsession with Emmanuel Macron's wife being a man is ridiculous, because all it does is gloss over the fact that she, who is a woman, Emmanuel Macron's wife, is a woman. I do not for 1 second believe that she's a man. It glosses over the fact that she was a child molester. She was in her 40s with children that were as old as, if not older than, Emmanuel Macron when she got into a relationship with him when he was 15 years old.
Started at 14. Yeah.
And then his parents tried to
move him
away, and then she pursued him anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the
real
real
the fact that that's not the story that Candace is covering. I'm like, oh my gosh, like facepalm for me. So,
but why would she have you sign an NDA for a funeral?
That's a great question. That's a
weird.
Great question. But what I can tell you is this, unequivocally. What Candace is a narcissist. Erica Kirk is a psychopath.
She's a psychopath.
She's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Right? And I do truly believe that she set out to and she was bought off to marry Charlie.
I do think she was sent
by Israel. Like full stop. And so do I believe that Tyler shot Charlie Kirk? I think Tyler thinks that he did. I do. I think that Tyler thinks that he did.
I think he's still trying to figure it out. I think his defense team is trying to figure it out.
Right, exactly. I think that and so if there was a foreign intelligence, which I believe that there was, or not intelligence, interference, and hand in all of this, then it begs the question, who was it? Likely Israel. And how did they do it? Likely with the road mic. That's the most likely scenario.
That is the most likely scenario, I do believe. I think you're absolutely right with that. I do. All right. Let's go to some other news. I know the Iran thing and the Candace thing. I just want to throw it out there because it's something we want to just kind of keep track of. Now, last week we covered that China had been interfering in our elections and our intelligence communities have covered it up. It was a huge spread by the Epoch Times this week. China did infiltrate our elections. I'm going to play this clip here.
That our foreign adversaries, not our allies, foreign adversaries have parts that are vital pieces in our voting machines. We know that they can access what they consider the key to the back of these machines. We know that they can change voter registration and your vote. We know it's possible. There's not a question. It's not even for debate. One thing that I love about numbers and I love about facts is they don't lie. This isn't something that I'm trying to tell you to spin a narrative. This is what is going on. And what we are saying is that every state should partner with us to work to secure this. Once we identify the problem, everybody should be informed. Working with Secretary Lutnick, we are going to make our security enhancements mandatory, meaning that if these states want to grant and they want to be reimbursed to work or to run federal elections, they're going to have to implement security issues.
So these states are pushing back on the implementation of election integrity things. I am not so sure that these election integrity things are actually going to help stop whatever happened in the 2020 election. I think that those who were in control are still in control and in power now. In the Epoch Times, I was reading one quote from the, I don't know who was running it, but she said, I feel like I'm running a shadow government trying to make sure that this information that China has infiltrated our elections does not get to the president of the United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find that. I have it upstairs. Go do comments there.
7-inch says, I realized right away that Erica was a honeypot. I have been praying for many months that God will expose Erica for the fraud that she is. There are many others, not just Candace, who are exposing Erica. Wicked Psych thinks that we may be in an information bubble and not being able to have time to look at all of the evidence that is presented. I think that we have looked at a lot of evidence that has been presented. And I think it's a little bit, and I love you very much, and you know that, a little bit weird to think that we're not doing our research.
You mean,
why are you here if you don't think we're like doing
You mean
the
you think
research?
that like Erica's a good person?
No, that Tyler shot Charlie and that's it. Full stop. Easy peasy. Tyler did it. That's it. Tyler did it. That's what I'm understanding.
We all know that narrative. There's nothing there's nothing extra there. The rest of us have done more research. The rest of us have watched guys. I spent literally, Matt sends me how too many.
We have watched so
I have
much.
watched so many cow necks be blown up by a 30. Do you want to watch some tonight? Because we could bring some up. Ex-Navy SEAL guys or Green Berets or whoever they are something.
And like the fact that we're being fed this magic bullet theory that like Charlie Kirk's neck is so iron steel that a bullet can't go through it. A 30-06, which will literally obliterate like that. No, I can't. We don't have time for this tonight. We've got too many clips.
Well,
the
the rest of my show is at my leisure. Okay. So, but if that's what you guys want to talk about, that's fine. I can bring those clips up. Matt sent me this one this week or last week where they used the cow neck and pork bone and all the things that are stronger than Charlie's neck to stop the bullet. Nothing stopped the bullet. Nothing.
And the fact that there's so much that is being covered up in the whole thing. And we're going to be talking about this for a long time. When the actual trial starts, we're going to be covering it ad nauseum. So we don't have to do it tonight. Sharon, was that you that sent me the message today? I'm going to stop and pray if it is. Yeah. So Sharon says that her sister Susan died today at 5 in the morning.
I'm so sorry. Is that the one we were
She
praying
never
for?
recovered from her heart attack.
Okay.
So God, we just lift up Sharon. We lift up Chip, which is, I guess, Susan's husband. And I just pray that you are comforting this family, that you're comforting Sharon. I can't even imagine the loss of your sister. So Lord God, I just pray that, since she's here tonight, that we would be able to wrap her in our arms as a family, but you would wrap her in your arms as a loving father that says, you matter. We see you. God sees you, and you are not alone. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So Sharon, we are with you. I want to read some comments from Sharon. She says, something wrong with draining the oil reserve. Biden drained it and never filled it back up. I'm just reading all of her comments from the show. Something has forced Trump to go into Iran. Is Israel in charge of our military and in charge of the worldwide geoengineering? She says, U.S. will lose its sovereignty if joined with Israel. And she says, maybe they got Trump to go along because they told him what happened to Charlie will happen to him or his sons.
I don't know. They seem pretty happy.
They do seem pretty happy. I don't know. I think that it's Trump's ego. That's my humble opinion that is making them, making Trump do it. But that's, again, just an opinion.
You guys know that I'm not a fan of the data centers at all. And I hope that you are not as well. If you are an electrician, you can make major money. There are all these data centers around the country are it's in high demand to have electricians go and live there for a while. They're paying a ton of money.
We met somebody this past weekend whose dad's going to go do it. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was their dad.
It was a couple weeks ago. But I want to hear you guys. I want you guys to hear Trump talking on the data centers in DC. You have to convince your community how great these things are. You're going to make a lot of money.
You have to convince your community how great these things. You can't fight it. You have to go with it.
Go see
and you're going to have all that protection, and we're giving you automatic protection, but you're going to make a tremendous amount of money. You're going to reduce taxes, and you're going to have something that if you don't have it, everybody else wants it. So these are the smartest people. Most of you in this room, we have a couple probably on the other side of things. They disagree, but I don't know how they can disagree. Your community and your state's going to become rich, and there's very little disruption. And again, if you don't take all that money, somebody else is going to take it. You might as well do it yourself.
Okay, so Donald Trump is saying that the biggest benefit to the average person is going to be that data centers could potentially lower their taxes, and the states can make a lot of money with the tax revenue. So is that true? Can data centers really lower the average person's taxes? And actually, I have found an example where yes, they can. Now, of course, I am not very for data centers, so this is not me pushing anything, but here is one example where that did happen. In Virginia, in Data Center Alley, data centers now generate a very large share of the county's property tax revenue. This has allowed the county to lower the residential property tax rate every year for roughly a decade, and this place now has the lowest property tax rates in Northern Virginia. So there is some truth to this. So I think you have to kind of weigh the benefits to the cons, though, for this particular situation.
Okay, so I am not a fan, and I know you guys are not a fan of the data centers. And here's one reason why.
That sound is not an airplane hovering overhead. It's the constant hum of a Mississippi plant powering Elon Musk's XAI data centers in the Memphis area. Nearby residents say the noise is giving them migraines and anxiety.
We are living with the consequences of a choice that we had no say in.
And that sleepless nights are now the norm.
I feel like I'm being tortured daily. I've lost sleep over this.
Taylor Logsdon, a 31-year-old stay-at-home mom, says she loved living in South Haven, where she's raising her 3 kids. But that was before.
I'm coming to you guys as a mother today.
Now she says the power plant is so loud it keeps her family up at night.
My kids,
aren't getting sleep. Their grades were dropping in school.
Are you able to get a full night's sleep?
Like rarely ever,
Logsdon is suing XAI along with 2 other South Haven residents who live within a mile of the plant. They allege in the suit that, quote, near constant noise and vibrations are causing negative physical and psychological health effects. A separate lawsuit filed by the NAACP and others says the South Haven plant emits, quote, significant amounts of harmful pollutants from its gas turbines. South Haven's mayor, Darren Musselwhite, has defended the plant and said in a January Facebook post, the city is, quote, under attack by all those who choose to oppose Elon Musk because of his high-profile political stances. He warned his constituents to, quote, beware of the smokescreen of radical politics. But residents like Logsdon say they don't care who's behind the noise, they just want it to stop.
There's people that are telling us that we're just like politically charged. It's because it's Elon and this, and it has nothing to do with Elon. It didn't matter who owned the power plant. What they're doing is wrong, So it could be my grandma who owned it, and I'd be like, Grandma, okay, that's like.
So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this and Trump saying, we're just going to, you're going to make a lot of money and you have to convince all of your neighbors to allow these data centers in. Trump, they're taking the water. They're incredibly loud. They're damaging to the environment. And the footprint that they are taking up is massive. But most importantly, they're stealing all the electricity. They're stealing all the electricity. I thought this is the opposite of the Green New Deal. This is the Red New Deal. This is the blow up the infrastructure deal. This is literally destroy. Our electricity prices keep going up. They have to suck it dry. We don't need AI. We do not need AI. And I'm going to show you why. I have a video here of a professor who asked his, sorry, hang on. Here we go. This professor had hidden something in his midterm test. And if you were to copy and paste it and put it into AI, you would get this sentence about Madagascar, but it was hidden. And so he found out that everybody was cheating on their midterms.
2 of my 35 students between 2 classes failed a portion of their midterm because they all used AI to generate their entire response. And apparently they didn't proofread it. Let me show y'all how I picked up on it. So this discussion post was a portion of my students' midterm, and if you look, it looks normal, right? But if you copy and paste this and look closely, in white ink, I placed the word Madagascar somewhere in the response in a way that makes no sense. But if you uncopy and paste it, you can't see it. So if Madagascar was somewhere in my student's response in a way that did not make sense, I knew that they copied and pasted the entire thing and just threw it in AI. And oh my God, you would be amazed at the bizarre usage of the word Madagascar that I saw in these students' assignments. First and foremost, Madagascar has nothing to do with the Industrial Revolution. Second, it was more than obvious that they didn't even go back and reread these responses. So yeah, 32 out of 35 students failed a portion of their midterm, and that's how. So students, if you're going to use AI to generate the entire response, at least reread it. At least try to ensure that it makes a little bit of sense.
You used to be able to get other people to write your papers, at least a human wrote them. And now we have, AI writing very good in your voice responses. And I would much rather not have a world with AI than have these data centers and have it rot our brains. I'm just going to tell you. Now, I do have some commercial breaks. I wish Michelle were here for this, but she's letting a dog potty.
Ready to hop into the tank, help her out by cheering
We've
for
got
her.
a swimming little piggy.
Go, Swifty,
Ready?
Go, come on, pig. Go, Swifty, go.
Oh!
Go, Swifty, go. Go, Swifty, go. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, doing a little piggy dive at a pound. We're gonna need
You got to
help.
see that again,
No, she
don't
gets
you?
ready to hop into the tank, help her out by cheering for her. Go, Swifty, go. Go, Swifty, go. Come on, pig. Go, Swifty, go.
Boom!
Go, Swifty, go. Go, Swifty, go. That's
Absolutely adorable.
a little piggy dive at a pound.
Our pigs would love to do that. They would not jump out on the other side, though, at all. Okay. Have you guys heard of the Apostle Catherine Kirk? She has been in the news this week. She made this gosh awful music video. I can't even play it, but it's about like spiritual warfare. stay away. This is just a short little thing. Stay away from Catherine Crick. She is a false apostle. She pretends to cast out demons. She's a narcissist. She loves the showboating. We're going to do a whole show on her if I can stand it. Just stay away from her. Okay. 80-year-old driver rescued as floodwaters swallowed the car.
Se agarra na máquina. Ai, meu Deus.
In Brazil. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely crazy. Okay, commercial break.
Oh my gosh. He knows. Look at his face. Don't move, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Do you guys have any cats that get up in their dog's face like that?
Don't move, buddy.
Okay, I do have some good news.
We're gonna.
I am hoping that this is the case. RFK Jr. says that they are going to end the war on alternative medicine.
End the war at FDA against alternative medicine. You know,
Thank
the
you.
war on stem cells, the war on chelating drugs, the war on peptides, the war on anything that, you know, is not going to make
It's
big
music
pharma.
to my ears.
The war on vitamins.
Yeah.
The war on
Vitamins, minerals, amino
minerals,
acids, nutrients,
Yeah.
peptides. I mean, these things that
And,
can
you
heal
know,
humanity.
Our position is that FDA has a job just to do the science on these kind of issues and then tell the public what they've learned from the science, but not tell people and not tell physicians what they can and cannot prescribe.
Yes.
And we're going to end the war at FDA against alternative medicine. You know,
Thank
the
you.
war on stem cells, the war on chelating drugs, the war on peptides, the war on anything that, you know.
So, this guy, oh, wait.
Chicken
Okay, commercial break.
was on sale at Costco, so I
Do
bought
you-
14 pounds to can it up. I started by dicing up my chicken into roughly 1 1/4 to produce its own broth. I went ahead and added half a teaspoon of Redmond real salt per pint jar. I wiped the rims of my jars with vinegar just to ensure that there was no salt or single failure. I'm getting cloudy, and I got my jars loaded up. Double stack, and I was able to fit 16 pints.
Oh, we don't have a double stacker.
I processed these jars for 75 minutes, and once those were done processing,
That right there, that's the money. You're going to have broth and the chicken. I highly recommend you guys process chicken and can if you can.
A shocking new study.
If you guys need to enter, this is your last chance to enter. MassFaith33, MASFaith33 at gmail.com if you want to enter in for the drawing. This is really interesting. This is magnesium L-threonate made participants' brains performs as if they were 7.5 years younger in 6 weeks.
Just found that magnesium L-threonate
Threonate.
made participants' brains perform as if they were 7.5 years younger in just 6 weeks. So this
wow.
was a very high quality study, a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. There were 100 people, 50 of them got the magnesium L-threonate, 50 of them were placebo. And after the 6 weeks, those who were taking the magnesium L-threonate did experience a 7.5% increase in overall cognition, a 5.6% increase in working memory, and a 6.3% increase in reaction time and hand-eye coordination. Now, this is likely occurring because magnesium L-threonate does appear, based on the animal models and laboratory data, to actually cross the blood-brain barrier and get into the neurons. And we know magnesium is absolutely critical for neuronal function, right? Magnesium is essential for like 300 enzymatic processes in the body, processes, and it's very, very important for synaptic transmission, as well as neuroplasticity and ATP production in the brain.
Okay, so I'm writing this down. I'm gonna get this for Uncle Jack. We will see. He's got the, dementia. It is a pretty expensive form of magnesium, not gonna lie, like super expensive versus more other magnesium, but if it's worth it if it actually works.
That sounds awesome. I'm all about the magnesium. Reminder, we are doing our drawing. We are going to be doing it right at the end of the show, which is coming up. So if you want to send me your email, massfaith33@gmail.com with your address and your name and which collection you want to win if you win Armor of God or Oil of Joy.
Okay, just a couple more commercial breaks here. Michelle, read some
We're
comments.
going to draw 2. I can't read comments because you're manning the computer.
Hang on. I said then Michelle.
Oh, okay.
This woman was a post office, was a mailman.
Okay.
And she would steal everybody's cats.
Of a lady who worked for the Postal Service who was stealing or collecting cats along her route. The call came in as a theft, and as we investigated it, we learned that our suspect and kind of victim, and I'll kind of break that down here in a minute, who lives behind us, was working around and potentially collecting feral cats. So she didn't steal somebody's pet, but she was likely collecting feral cats. Our animal control unit
but then is it really
come to this
theft at
house
that
in
point?
years past and had issued up to 65 citations, civil citations, to this lady for different types of animals that she was confining in her house. At that point, code enforcement was involved and helped her mitigate some of the problems she had, which was ventilation and not proper care of these animals. That's been 10 years ago. Fast forward to this last week, our animal control unit started trying to get in this house to ascertain whether or not animals were being housed improperly or abused, and were unable to do so. They worked throughout the week with our suspect. I think you can smell what we're smelling out here now. That's what our detectives and animal control officers were met with when they went to the house. Extreme stench. This house is not ventilated. It's ventilated now thanks to fire rescue, but it's not ventilated. And last count from Gail is she believes she has at least 70 cats in there, all caged.
Oh my gosh.
We're not sure how many dogs yet. And we've been in there now for the last 2 hours. So we believe that there could be north of 70 or 80 animals that are stored in this house behind us. Now, these are squalor conditions. It's a nice house, nice neighborhood, but the conditions are horrific. We're talking about, in some places, a foot of animal feces in that house. There is no air conditioning in that house. So when we cracked the door on it earlier today, the stench was unreal. The air was stifling hot.
At the end of this?
And thanks to our partners from Fire Rescue, the hazmat team had to come out here and ventilate the house and then help us navigate trying to get these animals out, which you're seeing behind me as I'm standing here talking.
Oh my
That woman
gosh.
needs some psychiatric help.
But she thought she was rescuing the cats.
Well, and that would be probably a case of severe schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Severe, because she knows that she's not taking care of the cats.
Yeah.
Like in the back of her brain, she has to. She needs to be in a mental institution.
Yeah.
Not delivering the mail and collecting cats.
Oh my gosh. That was really awful. Earlier, way earlier in the show, an hour ago, Sharon Kula Sherry tells me that it was New Zealand, which is the 5th in the Five Eyes. Thank you for that, Sherry. Oops, lost my paper. Over on YouTube, Sharon, who lost her sister, says, thank you for your praying for my sister, Susan. God answered not in the way we wanted, and he took her, and she is now at peace, hopefully with her daughter, Kristen, who died from breast cancer. Unfortunately, my sister took the COVID shots. She was one that would not listen to me to not take them. Enlarged heart, I believe, was related to that and the resulting heart attacks. That's really, really sad. Oh my gosh. 7-inch says, you need to give your uncle a lot of good fats like coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, and avocados, macadamia nuts, and so on. He can't eat nuts because he doesn't have any teeth.
Doesn't have any teeth.
But we do try to do that, and you're not wrong. That's excellent advice. Nana says, I've always been drawn to sci-fi, grew up on Star Trek, but also love Soylent Green and the apocalypse movies that have been made since. Wicked Psych wants to know, how do you steal a cat? 8-Ball says, I take magnesium glycinate. Let's see.
That's a good one too.
Then Wicked Psych says, that looks like a hoarder situation.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and you have to be kind of like mentally unstable to be entering into that kind of situation. All right, let me check one more time for the emails. And if you missed out on this month, it's okay. because you can still enter in next month, and we are going to draw 2 names. We're going to draw next. So when I say next month, I actually mean September. Did I lose one? No, I didn't. They're all there. Okay, so here we go. We're drawing 2 winners. Winner, chicken. You're not supposed to look in there. You're not supposed to look, Leah.
I'll just do one at a time.
Okay. Barry in the UK. All right, we're shipping one overseas. So Britt Baza for the win. Barry has had a collection. We gave him one as a gift, but he's never actually won one. So that's exciting. And I don't know that did you get the Armor of God one? I don't know which one you put in for. So, all right, here we go. We're going for a second one. This is going to be for August. So Barry's is July. All right. So now there's a caveat to this. So and I don't usually say this because I forgot to say this. We don't allow entering in for somebody else. However, I'm making an exception because I saw the email. Sharon that lost her sister Susan entered in for somebody else, someone named Jill in Connecticut. And so we're making an exception to the rule that you can't enter in for somebody else because of what happened to your sister. So your friend Jill or family member Jill is going to be getting a collection. So email me, Sharon, how you want me to address that and who this person is in relation to you, so that I can send it properly. Wicked Sykes says, I wanted an almanac calendar. Too bad for me. Just kidding, but I really wanted one. So I'm guessing you didn't order one this year, which I've discounted them.
No, you haven't. Not really.
They're down to $25.
Are they really?
I think so.
I don't think they are.
They should be if they're not. Let's see. Let me check a couple more places for comments here. Well, congratulations to Barry and to Sharon's friend or family member, Jill in Connecticut. So Barry's going all the way to Wales, which is super exciting and always a fun challenge for me to make sure that the shipping and all of the, you got to declare your items and stuff gets, we have shipped several packages overseas.
No,
it's down to, so I need to discount it. I will discount them.
You discounted it to 28.
Yes, I can discount them to 25. It's not a problem.
Okay, this is brand new, guys. No, you haven't discounted them at all.
Yes, I have. They're $28.
Oh, they're sale. Okay, 5 or more, $25. Okay, now you know.
But check back. I probably won't get to it until like Monday, to be frank.
Check back. We're going to put the calendars, the almanacs at $25.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Okay, and don't forget though, it goes through January.
January.
So you still have...
And the recipes are...
July, August, September, October, November, December, January. You still have 7 months worth of stuff there. All right. And Christine Vallis keeps all of her calendars full price all the time, like years later.
Yeah.
But she's got like a lot of scriptures and stuff in hers. But we do too. Ours
you
are
have to go to shop.resistancechicks.com real quick and show them.
But we do need to get going.
Yep.
But I am so excited that we finally did the drawing. Guys, I want you to enter into the drawings when we have them. If you've never entered in.
So you go show them how to get there.
Okay. So screen share. Here we are. Shop.resistancechicks.com. Shop all products. Now you're going to go to calendars and books to get to the calendars. And I do have stickers now. They're on every page. I just put them everywhere. If you want to buy little vinyl stickers, that's what you see on my little, look at that. Isn't that fun? I can wash this. Like I've washed this several times. It doesn't come off. So here is the God's Little Acre Homesteader Almanac, which is super fun and exciting. And here we are in the month of July. So there's your preview for July there. So that it's like, it has all these like this day in history, and it has the moon phases. That's just for gardening purposes and just for you to kind of know. It has historical facts, what we're doing in our garden every month, what you can do. It's got a checklist on there. It has different pictures. It has a recipe. It has different historical stories and facts. And so this is a little letter from Abigail, or from John Adams to Abigail about the 4th of July and how he felt like it was going to be celebrated throughout all of history. And so it's just really, really fun. That's what we call it.
It's awesome. One went back to the Netherlands.
It did. Yeah, we did sell one and went to the Netherlands. All right, so that is the show. Leah, phenomenal job. We will be here both together on Sunday.
Yes.
I think I'm going to do the market on Sundays twice a month. So 2 Sundays a month I will not be here and Leah will be flying solo. But this Sunday I will be back in the saddle again. If you do live local, you can always come and check us out at the market at the Eastgate Mall in Ohio every Saturday from 10 to 5 p.m. All right, we love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. We are so, so grateful for each and every single one of you, everybody that supports, everybody that prays, everybody that tunes in and shares and likes and comments. All of those things make a difference. You matter. You make a difference. We are always praying for you guys. We love you so much. Be on the lookout for all the different interviews and fun videos that we have done and that we will do throughout the week. We've got interviews coming up. We're going to have Mia Hagan on the show. That's happening. Very exciting. We're going to talk about her rough refuge.
Is it going to be this Wednesday?
I'm not sure what day it's going to be. It'll be either Tuesday or Wednesday. We have the lead singer of Ignescent that's a Christian band that's going to be coming on. We're going to talk about healing for the fractured soul and her trauma that she's lived through. They're going to be doing a concert at our friend's church. And I just got a call from Pastor Brian tonight asking us to get her on the show, which we'd already talked about. So that is happening. Corey Gray is going to be coming back for more Revelation Red Pill. So we've got a lot coming up. Very, very exciting. So thank you guys for being such an amazing part of the Resistance Chicks family. Don't forget, you can buy the t-shirts, shop.resistancechicks.com. We still have all of the sizes available as of right now. I think we only have one XX left. So if that's what you need. Now we're going to be hopefully ordering more, but for right now, that's what we have. So, all right, we'll see you next time right here from resistancechicks.com. Be blessed, guys.